Yes, you read that right. Your tired eyes from hours of combing to operators are not deceiving you. Tsukinogi is not only bad, she was designed to be bad. Vine Boom sound effect, please. Thank you. This video isn't saying that Tsukinogi is the worst operator. She has some real competition in that department. Arknights is a very well balanced game. There is no such thing as a truly useless unit, and you can use whoever you want. You will suffer, but you can use her if you hate yourself enough. Because, goddammit, Tsukinogi comes really close to being just straight up useless. Even though I am sure the annoying people in the comment section are gonna comment about one stage in one event that reruns once every geological era where Tsukinogi is very strong, so the whole video is invalid. Listen, I am not one to jump to conclusions, but it doesn't take a doctorate to see that something clearly went wrong along the way with Tsukinogi. While I was scripting this video, I started with the idea that Tsukinogi was good on her own, but bad when compared to others. But no! I gave her kit a good look, and there is no way that this wasn't on purpose. Tsukinogi was made bad on purpose. This was some rogue developer at Hypergryph with a vendetta against deers. But you know what wasn't designed to be bad and is actually very good? Gummy. It's Gummy. I don't know what answer you were expecting. Oh, and also today's sponsor, LD Player. Yes, the PC Android emulator with over 1 million Android mobile games. That one. Look at me, Mom. I am doing a sponsored segment. I am a real YouTuber now. Did you know the LD in LD Player actually stands for Lobotomized Deer, which is just like Tsukinogi? Are you tired of your fat, greasy fingers completely ruining your top-tier Risk 12 Arknights gameplay? Why not play the game on a PC with a mouse and keyboard, or even a controller? I don't know why you'd want to use a controller for Arknights, of all games, but you can do it. LD Player is free, you won't even have to spend a shekel on it. It provides the fastest performance for Android gaming, so say goodbye to PowerPoint slideshows whenever you play Annihilation 14. This emulator specializes in the stability of the gameplay, and it supports a variety of Windows systems and the most popular apps and games. Like, you know, Arknights. What this video is about. You can download Arknights on LD Player with the link in the description. Doing it will support the channel and keep me making these videos. And thank you for sponsoring this video. As I was saying, Tsukinogi is a 5-star, because of course she's a 5-star, Abjurer supporter, and her only redeeming quality is the super stuffed Oinka Badoinkers, countered by the fact that she has a triple jointed arm. Her only talent is named Blessing, despite the fact that if a god exists, he was never here. Optimally, it applies 20% shelter to all allies within range with less than 40% HP. The first problem, as I'm sure you've noticed because you're very smart and attractive, is the 40% HP restriction. Like, Shelter isn't even that good, there is no need to put restrictions on it. As is, it's pretty difficult to actually benefit from this, especially when normally you'll have healers, healing people, above 40%. It's like Canadian healthcare. You ask Tsukinogi for the Shelter status, and she tells you to go kill yourself. This Shelter effect sounds good until you realize that often at 40% HP, a 20% reduction doesn't even matter. Not only that, this entire talent is outclassed by just plain healing. Just place a medic, that's all you have to do. Here's her maxed out stats. You may have noticed something, again because you're very smart, attractive, and I bet your dick is very long. These stats are very low. While I get this is kind of the point with Abjurer supporters, it means that while her skills are down, she is about as effective against enemies as a fly's water against a charging elephant. But let's talk about the skills. Initially, Abjurers worked like any other operator, but now Hypergryph had to rework the entire archetype when 9 Colored Deer released. Now, Abjurers don't attack when their skills are active, they heal instead. And even then, it's only 75% of their attack. Why? Why did you do this? So, with this in mind, let's look at her skills. Her skill 1 is without a trace. It lasts 35 seconds, gives everyone in range 35 physical and arts dodge, and reveals invisible enemies. The first part of the skill, the dodge, is pretty much completely worthless, and there is a reason no one mentions it. In part because dodge, unless the operator is centered around it, is just very inconsequential. So we can just pretend this skill doesn't do that and nothing changes. The other half is revealing invisible enemies, which are very rare in this game. It's like if in Pokémon you had a move that dealt double damage but only to shinies. First of all, it has an SP cost of 50, meaning you can go to bed and wake up when the skill is ready. Not only this, but a month before, Elysium came out. Do you see what I mean when I say she was made bad on purpose? There is no way that Hypergryph made this skill 2 for Elysium, then turned around a month later and made this thinking it was good. To be fair, Tsukinogi is better than Elysium at revealing invisible enemies, but that's like saying that my car has better air conditioning than yours. While it doesn't have wheels, the engine is busted and it's falling off a cliff. But think about this for a moment. If the first effect is so inconsequential that you can ignore it, and the second effect is often not needed or too niche, then this skill just doesn't do anything. This is a skill that does nothing. Because niche units are one thing, but this is JoJo stand levels of situational. So we are left with skill 2, Forest Embrace. This name is really leaning in the mommy aspect. Guess what? This one is also nothing. First, it buffs her talent a whole lot, making it actually somewhat decent. But she stops attacking, so she stops healing. The main purpose of this skill is to make everyone in range survive, but the heal in the second half of the skill isn't good enough, so you still need a healer anyways, and Tsukinogi becomes completely superfluous. Do you see what I mean when I say she is bad on purpose? This skill had one main goal, but it fails at it because of a pointless restriction that was purposefully put in. You don't just stumble and as you fall you accidentally type stops attacking into the skill. That's a thing that they chose to put in. So what does she do? Skill 1 just actually does nothing, it's equal to traffic lights in Grand Theft Auto, and Skill 2 makes her somehow worse than Ansel. My only conclusion is that Tsukinogi can only have been made bad on purpose, for the following reasons. Her skill 1 is a strict downgrade from the unit that came literally before her. Her skill 2 has one purpose, but fails at it and is outclassed by Hibiscus. Her skill 2, talent, and trait all have pointless restrictions that serve no purpose if not just making her bad. There is no reason that abjurers only heal for 75% of their attack, especially when the attack stat is already low. But I have an answer. While recording, I found one use for Tsukinogi. Her skill 2 can very poorly heal summons and enmity operators, like Madrock. Is this good enough to justify using her? No. No, she's still worthless. But it's something. But why? Why is she bad on purpose? Well, put your tinfoil hats on, because now we are going into pure conspiracy theory Alex Jones they made the frogs gay territory. Maybe it wasn't on purpose at all. Maybe some developer with an IQ equal to the amount of showers a gacha player takes in a month truthfully believed she was good. She was the first abjurer after all, so maybe she is just another failed experiment, like Lazy and Tomimi. Or maybe she is bad on purpose to bloat the operator pool a little bit, which is a common tactic amongst gachas to make pooling for free-to-play players a bit more unreliable, which falls in line with giving other 5 stars completely unremarkable skills. Tsukinogi would just be the worst example of bloating the operator pool if that was the intention. Or maybe the developers really just hate deers for some reason. Like think about it, every deer operator in this game is mediocre at best. Is this what it's about? Does Hypergryph just hate deers? Oh god, I think Hypergryph just hates deers.